Dreamscaperers is the 19th episode of Gravity Falls. In it, Gideon makes a deal with a pyramid guy to enter Stan's mind to steal the combination to save as the deed to the mystery shack inside. So the mystery twins and Zeus go in to stop him. Shenanigans ensue. This is the first episode we see the odd-shaped cliff, which may or may not look like something. Also, we can see the Robbie muffin he spray painted on the water tower, which we keep seeing a lot, but I keep forgetting to mention it. Mystery twins play Battleship. Mabel directly references the Hand that Rocks the Mabel, referencing when they dated Gideon. Little Gideon has an MT instead of a TM for trademark.
Seem they've entered a dangerous game of cat and mouse. But the question remains, who is the cat and who is the...
Soos, broom.
Oh no, not the broom!
Stan chasing Gideon away with a broom is my favorite gag in all of Season 1. We also see the copy machine from Double Dip, which we see in every episode in his office, I just keep forgetting to mention it. Mabel's Dream Boys from Legends of the Gobblestopper are actually characters from a thing. This is a VHS, and it's by Good Enough Entertainment, which is probably a reference to Good Times Entertainment, which is funny to see it referenced in a Disney thing, because Good Times Entertainment is one of those like Disney cash-in people from the 90s. The ARF gun is a reference to Nerf guns. And of course, this is the episode that introduces Bill Cipher. Play it back, Sam.
Backwards message.
Bill Cipher, of course, even on his page, is a reference to the Eye of Providence, or just the eyeball on the pyramid on the back of the $1 US bill. It was a popular symbol in the 1800s for Christian God. Bill started life as just an in-joke with the cast and crew of the Eye of Providence with a Mr. Peanut, top hat, and limbs, and they snuck references to him in past episodes. You can even see on his page a reference to Irrational Treasures with a negative $12 bill. There's a lot of debate in the crew to even include him in the show. And then when they agreed to even bring him into the show, there was even ideas to bring him into even as early as Double Dip.
Oh, Gravity Falls, it is good to be back. Name's Bill Cipher. And I take it you're some kind of living ventriloquist dummy? I'm just kidding, I know who you are, Gideon.
It's a perfect introduction to Bill, showing that he's goofy and silly, but also he's horrifying by stealing deer teeth. Notice that the birch trees in the background look like they have eyes. Bill's played by Alex Hirsch with a voice filter, but originally he's going to be played by David Lynch, the creator of Twin Peaks, which was a massive inspiration for Gravity Falls. But he ended up declining.
Oh, I know lots of things. Hey,
Bill flashes JFK referencing the conspiracy about his assassination, UFOs, a Mayan calendar, Journal 3, the moon landing, which is also a big conspiracy thing, a page from the journals, a skull, Stonehenge, the pyramids of Giza, Stan going behind the snack machine from the first episode, Bigfoot from the intro, the cipher wheel, crop circles, I can't really tell, the statue of Nathaniel Northwest, I think this is the stamp from the title, some clocks, I think a hand, and a jail. Also, Bill references that it's good to be back. Breaking my rules to not reference future episodes, but it's kind of weird that he says this because in no point of Gravity Falls is it ever implied that Bill was banished or anything. And given that he's seen Stan with the vending machine, I don't really know what he means by this. Some people say that he's been using Gompers the goat, who I've not mentioned at all at this point because he really hasn't been relevant, as a spy because Gompers has weird yellow eyes. But the people who say this don't know what goats look like because, yeah, goats have weird eyes like this. Either way, Gideon asks Bill to enter Stanford's mind.
and pines.
Bill seemingly knows as Stan, and this symbol looks a lot like Stan's tattoo. Bill agrees.
Remember, reality is an illusion, the universe is a hologram, buy gold, buy!
I told you to put a pin in that part in Boy Crazy where Stan told Robbie to buy gold. Many people at the time thought that this was weird and thought, what the heck, and thought that Stan was somehow in a cult for Bill or in a secret organization trying to take Bill down and gold is his kryptonite. In reality, this is a reference to that there's a lot of libertarian types that like to buy gold and hide it because they think one day the economy will crash And then we have to go back to gold system because gold has historically been money, and soon they will be the only ones with money because they have gold. Bill enters Stan. The twins and Zeus enter Stan. There's a Caesar cipher here, but it literally just says Mystery Shack. There's a couple more in the episode, but they literally are just as obvious as this. Remember the broken swing. There was actually a cut cipher that was supposed to say Curse You Marilyn, referencing Stan's ex-wife, which of course we know is actually Ida from the Owl House. I'm not sure if it had always been intended for that, or maybe Alex Hirsch remembered that Stan had an ex-wife he came up with, or remembered the name Marilyn and just retroactively did that. We see a couple memories from past episodes like Irrational Treasures, Tourist Trap, Double Dip, Legends of the Gobblestopper, Land Before Swine, Time Traveler's Pig, and even The Deep End. We see a memory of Stan in a Colombian jail, which is a callback to what he said that he spent time in a Colombian jail in The Hand That Rocks Mabel. And him on a date with Lazy Susan, which was referenced in Dipper vs. Manliness. Zeus sees a memory of Stan going behind the snack machine, but he thinks it's boring. Breaking my rule again, I actually think, okay, grab your tinfoil hats for this. Zeus not being interested in this may have been an abandoned plotline. Because there used to be a Disney.com game, Rumble's Revenge, which had a bunch of mysterious codes, and deciphered, all of these came true, except one that says the handyman knows more than you think. And that combined with what Bill says at the end of the episode.
You know, I'm impressed with you guys. You're a lot more clever than you look, especially the fat one. He's talking about you.
It seems like there was originally a plan for Zeus to know more and actually know what's going on with Stan, but this never goes anywhere. The safe combo memory falls down the bottomless pit, so Bill should only be waiting a few minutes for it to fly back up. But Gideon cancels the deal, which makes Bill angry. Zeus's nightmare about a big British bulldog is a reference to the episode originally was going to be kind of like Inception, and everyone's going into each other's dreams, including Wendy's. And Zeus's dream would have been this kind of little kid show a la Dora. Dipper learns that Stan was only just trying to toughen him up because Stan used to be a total dork. Hey, this kid in the background has the same hair as Stan does. It's probably just a coincidence, it's just a background character. This is the first appearance of Stan's unimpressed dad, who would be Mabel and Dipper's great-granddad. Little detail, but the movie that young Stan was going to see was Grandpa the Kid, which was them watching on TV earlier. When the group realizes they can use the dream to their advantage and get powers from it to fight Bill, this might be a reference to Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors, in which people realized that they could use the powers of the dream to their advantage to fight Freddy Krueger. Zeus straight up does a Care Bear stare. Bill decides to leave via the cipher wheel, and when we find out what the cipher wheel means in-universe, this will make no sense. Also, the cipher wheel itself, which we see in the end of every intro, is a bunch of nonsense slapped together in the last minute. Originally, it was supposed to flash in the intro a six-fingered hand, but another show already did that, so instead they changed it. That's why the wheel has all these different symbols we've seen throughout the series so far, and they don't really mean anything. Well, until later in the show where they actually do give them a meaning, but originally they didn't. Also, Bill's appearance was the last thing written for the episode, because originally he was supposed to appear in Dipper's dreams, but they didn't have a reason for Bill going into Stan's mind. Either way, Gideon still gets the deed, and he has the place bulldozed, ending the episode on a cliffhanger. Also, Mabel outfit check, the only sweater of the episode is this really cute sunset. Our secret code just says to be continued, but originally it was going to be something different. Zyler and Chaz's bought excellent adventure, referencing Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. This is a great episode. Bill's a wonderful villain that's silly and extremely intimidating, really raising the stakes of the show. It's kind of crazy it took them this long to introduce him. I like learning that Stan's hard on Dipper for a good reason deep down. The dream stuff is cool, and the cliffhanger is very well done. It makes you actually scared for what will happen to the Pines next episode. Overall, I'll give this episode a 10 out of 10.
Hello! I was wondering if I might trouble you for a cup of strong black coffee, and in the process engage you with an anecdote of no small amusement.